Good morning, everybody. This is Karina Larar, chairman of our committee, Knesset committee. Mr. Eli Merzel, the general manager, and all our staff and guests. I'm happy to be with you, as young people. So I am 70 years old, and our staff is under 20 now. Maybe you, Matan, 24, 26. Well, distinguished guests, young leaders of Supreme Audit Institution, it is a great pleasure to host you here in Israel at the second YES conference. Welcome. I must have come as no surprise to you that we have decided that the central theme of the YES conference shall be EuroSAI and I, the Supreme Audit Institution and the individual. Because we have no doubt the EuroSAI and the individual in society are linked together. I believe that EuroSAI Israel bears responsibility for the protection of human rights in the State of Israel, and in particular, the rights of vulnerable population groups. Therefore, special emphasis must be placed on auditing matters of a socio-economical nature for the benefit of the weakest members of the society. We, as auditors in modern democracies, must take responsibility for the protection of democracy and human rights. As part of the policy, I have determined on this matter that reports submitted by Israel's EuroSAI will emphasize the State of Israel's responsibilities as determined in the basic law, human dignity and liberty, as Matan stated, and in the International Convention on Human Rights, which Israel has ratified. These are not mere half-hearted gestures towards a lofty ideal. They are constitutional rights and international commitments carrying legal obligations. Accordingly, the activities of the State Comptroller's Office must encompass human rights issues. In the course of conducting a state audit, the activities of the executive branch must be viewed through the lens of the human rights enshrined in the Constitution and the International Human Rights Conventions. This must be done in addition to, not instead of, all the other so-called regular norms and standards employed when auditing the functioning of the state. Bearing in mind my policies regarding human rights, EuroSAI Israel is currently conducting an inquiry into the decision-making procedures implemented by the military and political ranks during Operation Protective Edge, conducted in Gaza Strip in summer 2014. That inquiry is looking at the various aspects of the international law, with particular focus on the compliance with the tenets of established international law. Our issues under audit by that inquiry includes the implementation of the investigational measures established in the international law and activities undertaken by the IDF and the government during the operation. As is now true for many European countries, Israel has faced a migration crisis in recent years, mainly from African countries. SAI Israel conducted a comprehensive audit of this matter and found grave deficiencies and activities conducted by the government. In the summary of the report I wrote, quotation, due to this situation and in view of the difficult human and social reality described in this report, the government is called upon to complete its policy making immediately so that it ensures the proper treatment of illegal aliens, especially the most needy and vulnerable among them. Simultaneously, the government is also required to deal with the matters relating to residents, mainly in Tel Aviv, Jaffa. Have you been there already? In Tel Aviv, South Tel Aviv? In my opinion, an audit institution has unique advantages when examining government programs involving the implementation of human rights. First, an audit institution usually plans a proactive working schedule and determines the scope of each audit. In this sense, it differs from the judiciary, which is usually passive and active only when a petition on a specific issue brought before the court. Thus, an audit institution has the ability to take a broad, comprehensive view of the executive branch accomplishments in protecting and promoting human rights as manifested, for example, in welfare programs. Second, the audit institution can also determine a priori which matters require the most urgent attention. Similarly, the audit institution can undertake systematic, extensive, and long-term examinations in several audited bodies. And third, an audit institution has the ability to conduct long-term, comprehensive follow-ups, examining the implementation of the recommendations and the ratifications of defects and shortcomings exposed by the audit. That ability is particularly important when it comes to protecting and promoting human rights, because the process for the realization of human rights through government programs, particularly socioeconomic programs, take a long time and may even require broad reform. In conclusion, SAI has the vital role in the field of human rights, as noted by Professor Aaron Barak, former President of the Supreme Court of Israel. Quotation. The State Comptroller's activity in the area of human rights is important because it is wider scope than judicial activity may be. Actions that are within the zone of reasonableness or the zone of proportionality may not be deemed efficient. Indeed, efficiency in protecting human rights is the subject which the review of the State Comptroller jurisdiction. Protecting human rights, the more the merrier. It is important to remember, without human rights, there is no democracy, and we must all protect democracy. If we do not protect democracy, democracy will not protect us. Thank you very much, and I wish you all a fruitful and inspiring YES conference. Thank you.
Yes, the second Young EuroSAI Conference, Israel, November 2015. The Office of the State Comptroller and Ombudsman of Israel.